There are times when the behind the scenes of English football seem even more intense than what happens on the pitch. Awkward silences, forced smiles in interviews, and whispered names among club directors reveal more than any headline ever could. And that's exactly what's happening now. Something has begun to stir inside Newcastle United, and we're not talking about vague rumours. There are clear signs that important decisions are being shaped and that a significant change may be just around the corner. When a club like Newcastle starts to move in silence, it's a strong sign that talks have reached a more sensitive stage. The board knows that one poorly timed comment can inflate prices, attract rivals, or even shut down a deal prematurely. That's why, when we spot the signs, we can sense something is brewing. And as a passionate Magpie supporter, you deserve to be fully up to date with what's coming next. By the way, if you truly love this club, now is the perfect time to hit that subscribe button here on the channel. It helps us continue to bring you behind-the-scenes updates with credibility. And of course, it ensures you won't miss any of the twists and turns Newcastle is famous for, because trust me, there's a lot more to come. Just one click and you're covered for what's set to be a hectic summer transfer window. It's a fact that the next season will be one of the most demanding in the club's recent history. With our return to the Champions League, there's no room for improvisation. Eddie Howe knows the squad needs reinforcement in key areas if we're to compete on equal footing with Europe's elite. A reliable centre-back, a ball-playing goalkeeper, and a versatile forward are urgent needs. But there's another position that's being discussed even more intensely inside the corridors of St. James Park, the right wing. And here's where the story gets interesting. According to journalist Mark Douglas, writing exclusively for News, Newcastle United have officially been alerted to the availability of a player previously on our radar. That player is Chelsea's and England's Noni Madueke. At just 23 years old, he could be on his way out of Stamford Bridge, and this development has reignited internal discussions within Newcastle. Madueke, who played last season under Mauricio Pochettino and now faces new competition with Enzo Maresca's arrival at Chelsea, is being considered expendable. Chelsea reportedly needs a clear space for more signings, and that's where Newcastle come in. According to Mark Douglas, while Anthony Elanga of Nottingham Forest remains Eddie Howe's preferred option for the right wing, Madueke has resurfaced as a viable alternative if talks with Forest break down. And if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you already know when a deal drags on too long or stalls due to financial complications. Newcastle's board tends to look for quicker alternatives. In fact, take a moment now to check if you're subscribed. That way you'll be the first to know about these behind-the-scenes movements, which often unfold in the middle of the night and only come to light when a deal is nearly done. It's worth remembering that Madueke isn't just another name on the market. He rose to prominence in the Dutch league with PSV, catching eyes with his pace and 101 ability, and arrived at Chelsea with high expectations. However, his spell with the Blues has been inconsistent. Despite an impressive hat-trick against Wolves early on, his performance declined considerably as the season progressed, finishing with just 4 goals and 4 assists in 30 league matches. That inconsistency was exactly what divided Newcastle's recruitment team when his name came up last summer. Some believed he had real potential to grow under Howe's management, while others pointed to his lack of reliability and commitment, especially after reports that Enzo Maresca had dropped him from key training sessions for technical reasons. These details were highlighted by the Telegraph at the end of last season. Given all that, the direct comparison with Elanga is unavoidable. While Forest's Swedish winger has been more consistent and physically fits Howe's system better, Madueke could represent a higher upside gamble, but also one that comes with more risk. On the other hand, due to Chelsea's rebuild, his price may be lower than Elanga's, which for a club needing to respect financial fair play, could tip the scales. And look, if you appreciate this kind of deep dive with well-researched context, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It helps our work and proves that the Magpies community is alert, united, and eager to understand every layer of the football project unfolding at St. James Park. With your support, we'll keep bringing you even more top-quality content. But back to the current picture. Madueke's re-emergence doesn't cancel out the pursuit of Elanga, quite the opposite. According to Mark Douglas, the Forest winger remains at the top of Howe's wish list. However, the possibility of negotiating with Chelsea may become a strategic plan B, especially if Forest demand unrealistic fees or wages. Behind the scenes, the message is clear. The club needs a winger who can add depth, pace, and finishing quality down the right side. Ideally someone who can rotate in without upsetting the dressing room balance. That's why the attitude factor is such a hot topic in board meetings. Madueke will only be signed if the coaching staff are convinced he can fit into the team's style and internal culture. And that concern isn't new. Since the new ownership took charge, avoiding players with disciplinary issues or disruptive reputations has been a top priority. It's already led to deals being scrapped despite financial green lights. Madueke has the talent, no question, but he must prove he can be a reliable professional in a project that no longer has room for risky instability. If you've followed this far, You've likely realized this is one of those pivotal decisions that could shape the team's direction next season. And that's why every detail, every background discussion, every internal assessment matters. Madueke might not be the perfect fit, but depending on how things evolve with Ilanga, he could turn into an unmissable market opportunity. What's clear is this: the window has only just opened, but things are already moving quickly. Newcastle's board are keen not to repeat last season's mistakes, when drawn-out talks led to missed opportunities. The lesson has been learned this time. It's about acting with more agility, but without sacrificing strategy. In the coming days, more meetings are expected. The coaching staff will reassess their shortlist, the finance team will run the numbers, and eventually a joint decision will be made. Whether it's Ilanga, Madueke, or even a surprise name still under wraps, one thing is certain: Newcastle are about to make a key move, one that could change not only how we play, but how we're seen among Europe's elite. And we'll be keeping an eye on everything. Because here, quality information comes with responsibility. The main source for this story was journalist Mark Douglas, reporting via iNews, with further details drawn from the Telegraph and internal insights into the Magpies' planning process. See you in the next video, and remember, here you're always one step ahead of what's about to happen at St. James Park.